Hi, my name is Chris, and today I want to talk about live streaming from your iPhone directly. A couple of weeks ago, I started talking about live streaming a little more, specifically using OBS as the streaming software on your computer, using an iPhone as a camera toward that software, using a GoPro or your camera with an HDMI port to use that with a capture card, even something as low as $15. Now today I want to talk about how you specifically can do all of that, pretty much, inside of your phone itself. The things that you need, the software that makes sense, and generally speaking, how you can upgrade your stream. So let's start with the equipment. And I made a video yesterday just about exactly that topic, specifically talking about microphones, the stand, as well as the adapter or the holder for your phone. And I will link that video in the description down below so you can have a look there and get all of those equipment things set up. Generally speaking, some type of an on-camera microphone is only good if you are always staying right in front of the camera and always talking into the camera. Generally speaking, also using the front camera of your phone might be interesting, and then just turning the microphone around so that you also have that pointing toward you, because oftentimes it makes a lot of sense to keep an eye on the chat. Of course, this way you wouldn't get as high of a quality as you could get if you're using the other camera. However, then you also don't see what people are writing in the chat. An alternative to the on-camera microphone is using something like the Rode Wireless Go, which is a wireless solution. So you actually just plug this into the camera, and then you have that hooked up with your adapters as well as your power source so that you never run out of power. And then you can clip this to whatever you want, or even to the cold shoe mount of this specific holder that I talked about in yesterday's video. This way you have the camera there, and then you have the microphone, and you can walk around and away from your phone. I find this specifically useful for example, live sports classes. My partner is doing those with yoga, and I will link those in the description down below. And she's going live every Sunday for about half an hour to an hour, doing a yoga class in the early German morning at 9 a.m. CET. So that's something where you can use the Wireless Go, specifically something like the Wireless Go, because it makes a lot of sense to be able to have the audio quality stay the same even though you're moving around in front of the camera and you're not always staying in the same spot. Sometimes even talking away from the camera when you're facing the other direction. But that's only 1/3 of the story of live streaming with your phone. The other one is about light. And generally speaking, I would say light is something that you have to figure out in your environment. Sometimes you're able to live stream during the day using daylight and even a big window, or you go outside into a shady area where you have nice light that is soft and not too harsh, giving you any shadows. But in many ways, you can also invest in some light, and many people nowadays are investing into these ring lights. Now you can even have small ring lights that you can clip to your phone and have that light your face, and that way you reduce the shadows in your face, and you also have just a nice bright source lighting you from the front. And there's many other options. Of course, also big lights and the whole room, and you can change your bulbs or whatever. There's all these options. But the point is that having a nicely lit video or live stream is really something that gives your people the ability to just see that much clearer, just as much as good audio gives your people a good opportunity to just understand you better. And that really is something important, because otherwise people are just going to move away and not stay with the stuff that you want to present, not stay and listen and interact and those kind of things. Now, this is the second part of the live streaming endeavor, but now onto the phone and talking about the software side of things. Now, with apps and platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and some others, those actually make you use their application for live streams, especially on the phone. For Instagram, there's a way around that if you want to use a computer. I made a video about that, and I will link that in the description as well. But generally speaking, if you want to live stream on Instagram from your phone, you will have to use the Instagram application and just do it in there. This is actually also quite good, because that way you also have the integration with the comment feature, and also the call-in feature so that you can have another person in kind of like an interview kind of way. So that's one way for Instagram. I think TikTok pretty much works the same. And then we go to other platforms, which are, for example, YouTube Live, Twitch, as well as Facebook Live. And on those platforms, you can either use their own stock applications. However, if you want to have a couple more features, stream to multiple platforms at the same time, or have a better quality, you might want to look into something called Streamlabs. And I'm going to show you that on the screen of the iPhone. So here on the screen, you can see the Twitch app, which we're not going to look into. The main thing about that is if you are looking to stream on Twitch from your mobile device, if you use the Twitch app itself, it only allows you to stream in 480p, which is not even HD, let alone full HD. So opening up Streamlabs, on the other hand, you actually get the ability to stream in full HD, as well as in all kinds of different frame rates and bit rates as well. Having this open, what you can see on the screen is that you have a couple buttons at the bottom, one button at the top right, and then you have one menu button at the top left. Clicking on the button on the top right, you can see we can choose between the different cameras, and here you have the front, the back, the ultra wide, and the telephoto. And this is of course for the iPhone 11 Pro, and on other phones you will have that selection available that is available to you. Now on the bottom right hand side here, we have this button right here, which usually brings up some kind of activity tracker. For example, if you're streaming to Twitch, you would see when people subscribe, tip, as well as follow you. Then you can choose to have the chat activated or disactivated, and you can switch the camera to turn around to film yourself or film whatever is on the other side. And you can do all of that before you start streaming. So you can make a decision where you want to be, which lens you want to activate, as well as if it's using the front or the back camera. Now going into the menu here, you can see we have settings, editor, multi-stream screen record, as well as remote control. The most important ones are the settings, where you can choose the platform that you want to stream for or stream toward. Me personally, I use a RTMP server in between, and I probably will talk about that in a future video. That actually gives me the ability to stream to multiple platforms at the same time just by using my own server. So that's really useful right there. But if you want to use, for example, Twitch or YouTube straight away, then you have the comment integration as well, which I don't get by using my custom one. So if you choose YouTube, it'll ask you to log in with your Google details, and then you will have that right there. Twitch, pretty much the same thing. The additional feature, if you activate that, is also that once you click the Start Stream button, it'll actually ask you specifically on YouTube and Facebook which event you want to start, because you actually can also schedule multiple streams in a row and on different dates. With Twitch, you simply just go live on your channel, which is just one channel by itself. But on YouTube, you can schedule that into different kind of topics or dates that you can also schedule and go live once the time is right. And looking at other features right here, you see you have a disconnect protection, which helps if you are out and about and you are not streaming with a wireless connection over, for example, a local landline, and that's right there. However, this is a paid feature. Now, looking further, you can see we have the audio quality and the broadcast. If we go to the broadcast, you can see we can change between the different resolutions available. For example, choosing 1080p. As well, expected frame rate, so that you want to have a certain frame rate. Probably I would choose 30 FPS, since I've learned that specifically YouTube does re-encode your video and they force a stream to be 30 FPS. And then you can also change the max bit rate, so you stream in a nice and high quality. You want to check whether or not you are actually able to stream at the quality level that you would like to stream at. And if you just want to try that, you can try one setting, make a private stream, for example, with YouTube, and then see whether or not your internet connection is actually strong enough. And you will see that by the display on the phone, whether or not it shows any dropped frames or not. And if you do, maybe you want to just reduce the bit rate a little bit, stop the stream, start the stream again, and see if it works without dropping frames then. In terms of focus mode, I would always choose the continuous autofocus, because that really is something that just works better because it stays on topic all the time and tries to find whatever is necessary. Audio, I would go for high because that's pretty much enough. You could also choose very high, would work as well. Now going back here on the other settings screen, we have the multi-stream, which is again a paid feature from Streamlabs where you can stream to multiple platforms at the same time. And if you're already a subscriber to Streamlabs, that may actually be interesting to stream to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. But now going into the editor, what you can see here is that you actually have widgets available. So you can actually change this and edit to have, for example, text show up on your screen. And that's really neat because you can also integrate images and also widgets. With the images specifically, you could, for example, choose a logo and display that in one of your corners. With the widgets, if you know that and how those work, you might want to check out the Streamlabs website because there you can actually build widgets from Streamlabs. And you can see you can have different kinds available. For example, the chat box as well as an alert box for different kinds of happenings. Some of those happenings are, for example, the subscribers on Twitch and followers on Twitch. That's something that would be displayed and integrated into your stream so that people can actually see that. And the same thing goes for the chat box, where you would have the scrolling chat visible to everybody inside of the stream, and it's baked right in. And I think it's pretty crazy to think that all of that is actually happening on a phone, because if you're using OBS on your computer, you need a pretty beefy computer to actually handle all the data throughput and also do other things at the same time. Here, we're doing all of that in a phone that fits in my pocket, and that's kind of crazy. Now back on the home screen, usually you would have a little red circle in the center. However, that's not here because of the screen recording. But I wanted to show you here that if you hit the center here, you'll actually see a little Streamlabs logo in the bottom left side. And that is because we are using the free version right here. And if you have the paid version, that actually is something that you can remove on that editor/widget thing where you can remove that. But in the free version, this actually shows up for a certain part of the stream. And sometimes it goes away, it fades out, and then it comes back. Now, this is an amazing tool to stream to YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, or all of them with the multi-stream feature. On other networks like TikTok or Instagram, you'll have to use their applications, but even there, you can upgrade your audio game with an external microphone. However, if you want to have someone call into your live stream on Instagram, for example, you will probably have to just unplug your external microphone and use whatever you have built in, because you can't really connect a headphone set and a microphone at the same time. Now, this is everything I have to say about live streaming on your mobile device right now. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comment section down below, and I will make sure to try to answer them there or answer them in an individual video. If you like this video, please give it a like and help others find this type of content as well. If you want to have more of this type of content, please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you in my next video. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.